consistency, regardless of what it is that you do, is going to eventually lead you to a certain place. If I made a decision and said, you know what, I'm gonna eat 2 Big Macs, 2 large fries, I'm gonna go get me a big gulp, and I'm gonna do that every day for 2 months straight. After 2 months, what do you think is gonna be the effects of me doing that?
Diabetes.
Possible. What do you think? What do you think is a possibility? I may gain some weight. You know? Huh? What do you think is a possibility of that?
Say it. That was a good answer.
What?
She said your cholesterol.
Yeah. Huh? You said lose weight? Yeah. All of those are some of the effects if I consistently did that. Now, what if I said, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to try to learn a new word every day for the next 2 months? What do you think is the possibility of that if I dedicate myself to doing something like that?
You can learn words that you possibly haven't done before.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then when you expand your vocabulary, you have more words to use. And words are like keys that helps you unlock certain doors. Sometimes your parents and guardians may not give you something because you asked wrong. If you use the right words, they might be like, oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So consistency is important. And whatever you dedicate your time and energy to, you're going to get an effect out of that. Right? So now here's a third thing. Courage. This is what I got to do my 6th grade. I work at Packard. This is what I got to do. Come on, man. You ain't even write number 2 down. Stop.
Courage.
We got a question.
I just want to tell you that my stepmom works at Packard, and actually one of the students in my class is actually the son of the principal at Packard.
Really? Mr. Wu?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You said she works at Packard? What's her name? Missy? Nothing? Oh, okay. So courage. That's number 3, courage. Courage does not mean that you're not afraid. Courage is the ability to do something even though you have fear. That's what courage is. You face your fears. And you definitely need that as an entrepreneur. By some of you, I can kind of tell you like you're a little bit quiet. It's not you, Legend, but some of y'all are a little quiet and stuff like that. And I know as an entrepreneur, if you're striving to like let people know about your services and your business, you might be a little shy. But you're gonna need some courage to talk to people about your business and what it is that you have to offer. Like 2 years ago, I had an experience with courage, right? I went over to the Canadian side and I took a young person with me. He's about 12 years old. And over on the Canadian side, they have this aerial obstacle course. So imagine an obstacle course in the air. You see how tall the telephone poles are outside? Imagine an obstacle course higher than the telephone pole. So we go over to this obstacle course, and there's 3 courses. There's like a baby course that's about this high. Then they got an intermediate course, which is like about this high. And then they have the expert course. So we go over there, and we go inside the building, and we're going to pay for the course. And I didn't even look at the courses. But the 12-year-old says, yeah, we're going to do the expert course. So I didn't see it at first. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm down. Right? So they take us on the baby course and they train us. So basically the way the course works is there's a rope that goes around through the whole course course, and you have to hold on to it, but they have a harness with a rope to it that connects you to it. So if you were to fall off, you wouldn't hit the ground. You'd just be suspended in the air. So we got on the baby course and we're going around and stuff like that. So then after about 15 minutes of showing us how to do it, he's like, okay, I'm gonna take you to your course now. So he takes us back in the building. We go up the stairs and on top of the building, and there's a ladder that you have to climb on top of the building to get on this giant pedestal, to get on a zip line, to zip line to the course across the street. And I'm looking like this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, yo, if I knew that this is what I committed myself to, I might have backed out of it, you know what I'm saying? But I had to go through with it because I got this 12-year-old and he's like, he has courage, he don't care, right? So he climbs up the rope, he gets on the pedestal, he zip lines like this across in the course, and I'm still looking at this dude like this, and I climbed up the rope, I'm like, oh man, like, I get to the pedestal, it took me about 20 minutes. It took me about 20 minutes to just convince myself that I got the courage to get on this course, right? So I'm standing there, and he's over there already going through the course. And he's calling me like, yo, come on. And I'm like, yo, hold on, man. Yo, just hold on, right? Because you have to trust the equipment. You have to have faith in that equipment, because if you believe that the equipment is gonna fail, then I'm telling you, it's 3 stories high, and you are gonna hit the ground. So eventually, I muster up the strength, and I zip line across, and now I'm on the course. So I'm standing on this pedestal. Now imagine a pedestal higher than the telephone pole. You're standing on it, and you have to get over to where this thing is right here. And there's just a rope. So you have to walk across the rope like this to get over there. Once you get to this side, you might have to zip line over to another pedestal. Once you get there, it may be bars that you have to walk across like this, holding on to a rope. So I'm doing this, and there's no way down. There is no ladder attached to these pedestals where you can just be like, yo, I'm out. You have to go through it. So now I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go through this. And this dude is like, he's just going through it like no fear at all. And he just kind of leads me. It took me about an hour and a half to just go through this course. And this dude did it in about maybe 20 minutes. To the point where I'm still going through it. And he's down there on the ground like, yo, come on! Come on, man, you could do it, you could do it. And I'm sweating and stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Now, you know, on the American side, you can look over to the Canadian side and you can see the escarpment, like right along on the Canadian side. The aerial obstacle course is right there. So it's right where you can look down at the falls. Right? So I eventually go through all of it, and I'm traumatized a little bit. But I learned something that day. You know, I learned a lot about courage and about faithfulness and about trust, and how a lot of times you can get that from the most least expected places, right? So me as an adult, I've been working with youth for like 20 years, and one of the reasons why I do is because I'm always learning from them. They may not know they're teaching me something, but I love being around them because they teach me things like that in terms of courage, right? So I want to go back to what I initially said about the first thing was commitment. All of you want to be entrepreneurs, and I want you to think about what's one thing that you can commit yourself to tonight that can help you improve your business. So take a few minutes and think about that. What's one thing that you can do? And then after a few minutes, I ask you, and you might want to share with the group because some people here may have not thought of anything, but take a few minutes, think about what's one thing you can do right now and commit yourself to going forward that can help you improve your business.